Good morning, FlowChat Connector. In this video, I'm curious, have you ever been in a position where a prospect calls you and they're so eager to see you, or they say, come on in, I can't wait to talk with you, or maybe, hey, money's no object, I want to talk with you. Well, in this video, I'm going to give you 2 bulletproof techniques to where you don't spill your candy in the lobby. Hang tight. What's happening? FlowChat Connector, Sean here, back at you with another high ticket tune-up. I hope you're doing good today. I'm doing really well. I had a great question that came in, and we're going to talk about this one, right? Like, don't spill your candy in the lobby. What does that mean? That means where you verbally diarrhea your guts all over the place before you even know if the person that you're talking to is somebody that can afford what you're saying, is the right fit for what you're saying, and has the right process to actually get involved with you, right? So those are the 3 things that we focus on. But here's the question I got. I think it's valuable. It came in from Joel, and Joel asked this. He said, Sean, a prospect told me he was eager to see what I could do and requested a quote before we met. I wasted a lot. He was excited, right? Obviously, as I was talking to him, and I wasted a lot of resources and didn't win the deal. How should I approach this next time? Well, this is man, this happens so often, right? Like you're in your office and you get a fax, or man, back in the day you used to get faxes. Now it's emails and texts and SMS and messages and whatever. And it's like, hey, I need a quote, or I want to see you. I'm really interested in what you could do. Your coaching program might be a fit for me. Like, can you come on over and share everything that you do? Most traditional salespeople will say, oh my God, this is a great opportunity, which it could be a great opportunity, but we're not 100% sure, right? So most traditional salespeople will run as fast as they can right to that doorstep, and they're like, it's time for me to do the show and dance, and they run in and they're like, da 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 da, and they show all of their stuff and they spill all of their candy in the lobby. And here's what the prospect is doing: simply just taking notes. Some traditional salespeople will actually put together a proposal and say, here's my number, this is what it looks like, blah blah blah, what do you think, right? And then now as a salesperson, you're lost because all of the power and the control is with the prospect, where that's not really the right thing to do. So what do we do to not let this happen? First and foremost, step 1 is this: control the speed of the meeting. Here's what I mean, right? When a prospect reaches out to you, whether it's text, email, fax, call, whatever, Zoom meeting, any which way, and they say, hey, I'm eager to see you, come on in, I want to see what you can do for us, money is no object, and they say these types of words, that these are emotional triggers for traditional salespeople, because they're like, oh great, he can afford it, he said money's no object. Well, did he really mean that, or was he just baiting you to come in and do a presentation, right? Like that's the conversation that we need to be careful of, right? And so how do we control the speed of the meeting? First and foremost, as a sales professional, so as you move from traditional salesperson into sales professional, because you're subscribed to my channel and you like all my videos and share them out to the world, you're going to learn that we need to control our emotions first. So how do we control the speed of the meeting? Control our emotions. Number 1, just say, oh man, I'm really excited. Thank you for the opportunity to chat with me. I would love to see if we're a good fit for you. So let me come on over. I'm going to ask you a few questions. You're probably going to have some questions for me. And then at the end, we can figure out if this is really going to be a good fit. Does that sound okay? So what I've done here is I said, no, I'm not saying, hey, Mr. Prospect, I'm going to run over and I'm going to do the show and dance and the sing a song and here it is. I'm going to say, no. I'm just going to come by and have a casual conversation with you to see if what I actually do is a good fit for you, because I'm not a fit for everybody. And when you say that, what happens is the prospect says, that's really interesting. No one's ever said that to me before. Yeah, come on over. That's cool. Because they still want your goods. And so you end up showing up at the meeting, and instead of you going into presentation mode, you're now like, okay, let's see if you even have a problem that I solve, because I don't know if you do. And if you have that kind of reluctant or casually reluctant conversational flow with somebody, it will light them up, right? Like they'll be like, oh, this guy's for real. Like he's actually going to come in and solve our problem. And it gives you the ability as a sales professional to smoke out prospects that aren't a really good fit. So first of all, control the speed of the meeting. Very, very valuable. Step 2, always include a recap of what we discussed and next steps. when I put in what we call the clear future into my sales process, the same sales process I've used to close over $130 million in my career, I noticed an immediate spike before I had done anything. The clear future, which is like, here's the exact next step of what we're going to do. I noticed like a 30% increase in my sales closes, which if that's what you want, that's what you should do. Here's what it sounds like. So you get into that conversation with the prospect who says, hey, I'm eager, come on in, money's no object. And you go in and you say, cool, let's understand if you have the problem. You get the problem that they have that you can solve. Yes, good, check. Number 2, can they afford it? Check. Number 3, how do they make buying decisions when it comes to a process like this, right? Check. When we have those 3 things, then all we have to do at the end of the meeting is say, okay, listen, here's what I heard today. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. You mentioned this was your problem. We talked about you investing on these other programs before. It didn't get you the solution that you want. You're really hurting right now. You're in a place where you need to solve this, and you've kind of exhausted every other resource that's out there. Is that a fair statement to make? Yes. Okay. Now, besides yourself, you said your partner was involved in making this decision. Is that correct? Yes. That's a very thorough recap of a sales conversation. And you say, great, here's the next steps. I'm going to take all this information back. I'm going to actually put together a proposal that's going to come in and solve your problems. Now, when I do that, let's pretend I did that for a second and it met all the criteria that you have. What would happen next? And then you're just quiet, because then that prospect's going to be like, well, you know, if you solve that problem and I can afford it and my partner's on board, and we would move forward. And move forward means, oh, well, I would give you my credit card and then we would begin the let's go. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go do that then, right? Sounds good. Okay, cool. Get out your calendar. Let's book another time. This conversation, oh man, like when sales pros do that, you should see the cycle time of a closed deal just drops to 0, and deals close every single day, every single minute. And so those are the 2 steps, right? Really focus on controlling the speed of the meeting. It's your agenda, not theirs. Even though they want to feel like they have control, it's our job to make them feel like they have control by asking really detailed and good questions. Because the person who's winning the conversation has their mouth shut, not talking, right? That's the other thing. And then secondly, like I just mentioned, always do a recap of what you just talked about. And hopefully it covers those 3 things, because here's the deal. You can close at any size sale, whether it's 100, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 25,000, 100,000, $1 million. If you know 3 things. Number 1, does the prospect have the problem that you solve? And in detail, you've discussed it. Number 2, can they afford time, energy, and money to get involved with you too? And then number 3, how do they make their buying decisions? How is that process of actually going through and purchasing something working for them, right? And when you understand those 3 things, you can close any deal as long as you have a quick recap and very, very clear on what the next steps are. And this is how you prevent spilling candy in the lobby. That's awesome. You've just been tuned up. Don't forget to hit that like button. Feed the algorithm gods. Look, more people need this information. That's why I'm asking you for your help to just share this out to the world. And of course, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications, the bells on. Like, God, man, I'm just going to keep dripping amazing sales knowledge into your brain. That's something that's awesome. So with that said, you've just been tuned up. There's a FlowChat connector inside of each and every one of you. And I can't wait to see you next time.